Like I promised, I'm going to share my self-doubt moment. I've had many, but today I'm just going to share one. Back in high school, I was very active in the drama and music festivals. I always participated, not just in high school. I think ever since I was in my mother's womb, I was born in the arts. I grew up in the arts, so I've always been in this space, all my life. So in this particular event, we had drama music festivals during that season. So usually we'd have inter-house competitions, and then would compete with the winners. Would proceed to compete with other institutions or other high schools. So within the inter-house competitions, I had participated in different categories. So this particular time, I was seated in the audience or with the audience because I had already finished all my performances, and so it was my turn. When you're performing or preparing to perform, you're always backstage. But now I had finished all my performances, so what I did, I went and sat with the audience to also enjoy other performances. So here I am, seated, enjoying myself and enjoying performances, and then somebody came and whispered to me, I'm needed outside. So I walked outside, and I found a group of senior ladies, my seniors, and they were panicking. They said, now we have a situation here. The person who was supposed to represent us in public speaking will not be able to, and now we need you to step in. What happens in public speaking? They just give you a topic to talk about right before you go on stage, so you don't have time to prepare. There's no time to research or anything. It is like an instant. So here I am. I'm like, okay, even before I knew it, we were already in the dormitory dressing up. And then shortly after, I was at the backstage with all these ladies cheering me on, saying, you can do it, you can do it. In my head, I'm thinking it's public speaking. So shortly after, I was handed over a paper with a topic. And then I had my name called out. Our next performance is by Isabella Mombi Maina. I walked to the stage, did my presentation, and shortly after, when immediately I stepped out of the stage, when I got to backstage, I burst out crying. I cried. I ran to the dormitory and I just cried. I cried. All these girls were surrounding me saying, oh, Isabella, you did well. That was a great performance. You were confident. I'm thinking confident. In my mind, I'm thinking I should have said this. I should not have said this. Or did I even articulate my thoughts properly? Was there a flow of thoughts? I had all these things going through my mind. I'm crying, and all these people are saying, oh, you have done well, you have done well. Shortly after, we get a notification we're needed in the hall because the results are about to be announced. So you can imagine, everything is still going through my mind. Now, we performed very well in other categories, and as people were celebrating, I was not in that space because I'm waiting for the public speaking category. My mind is just everywhere. Then finally the public speaking category was announced. Number 3, so and so. When you're called out, you go, you receive your certificate. Number 1 called out my name, Isabella Mombi Maina. I was position 1. Public speaking category. I cried. Now, these were different tears. These were not the same tears, the ones I cried before. These were different tears. I cried because I'm like, oh my goodness, after all the turmoil, the internal conflict, the external outcome was even greater. Here we go. This is my certificate. Position 1. And that meant I was going to carry the flag of my school to compete with other institutions. So sometimes we are required to just push through self-doubt. And yes, that support team, like the girls who are really cheering me on, they believed in me. It's the same thing. Sometimes you may put out a product online. You may put out a post you know, you have doubt with you know, you have self-doubt when you're putting out the post. You're wondering, should I even delete it, should I put it? But you realize there are people who are cheering you on. There are people who are supporting you. There are people who believe in you. You know, sometimes you don't believe in yourself, but there are people who believe in you. So for the sake, even for those who believe in you, push through your self-doubt. Push through your self-doubt. So you can imagine, once I got this certificate, I had now confidence to face the other institutions. I had confidence to take on any other challenge because I had a huge support team. In the next video, we're going to talk about how different people accept your product, the stages of different categories. Like if you put something online, who are these early adopters, who are these late adopters, why do we have late adopters, why do we have early adopters? So early adopters will get to know who these people are and why you should push through self-doubt, because these categories of people, they are watching and they are waiting to see what you have to offer. So don't dumb down and don't withhold because of self-doubt. Push through with it. With the butterflies, just push through with it. With the, you know, whatever it is, whatever reason or excuse you have, just push through with it. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video as we talk about different adapters on the social media space. Okay, so thank you so much, and as usual, I'll be very glad to hear from you. Let's continue interacting, let's continue engaging. Okay.